That was my most challenging hike to date to the Alpine lakes in Grand Teton National Park, the Crags and Ramshead. That was in late September, around fall of 2021, and the weather was almost picture perfect. I underestimated this hike. It is rated by All Trails as difficult, and there's a reason. One of which is the relatively quick elevation gain of 3,200 in just about 3 miles. The trail is not an official park trail. You'd be hard pressed to find it on any of the official maps. In fact, I actually passed the trailhead looking for a sign when in fact there were no signs. So the entire trail is not maintained at all. Another reason why it is challenging is that there are multiple fields of rocks that you have to traverse to get to the top, and it obviously slows you down because you've got to be a bit more careful when you are hiking through the rock scramble. One other challenging aspect about this hike is if you didn't have your All Trails map guiding you and giving you the details of the trail, it's a mental thing to want to give up and turn back because you get these false plateaus. As soon as you hike up and you see around the corner that's got to be the plateau, and sure enough, once you reach there, there's yet another scramble, there's another hike further up, and around that corner you think you reached the plateau, and then yet there's another one. So on a mental aspect, motivation can be challenging if you didn't already know, okay, I've got about another mile left. So in that aspect, it's quite challenging. Depending on your comfort factor, one of the beauty of this hike is the solitude that you're in. Hiking for hours and hours and hours and miles without another soul in sight can be a bit rewarding, but also isolating, because it wasn't until I reached the top where the lakes were that I saw 2 other hikers. So you got to be comfortable hiking by yourself. As challenging as this hike is, it is an absolutely beautiful hike. Once you get above the tree line, you are treated to constant views of the mountains. You see Teton, the Grand Teton, the Middle Teton, and Mount Owen in constant view as you ascend. And then you can't help but look back and see Jenny Lake, even String Lake and Lee Lake in the distance. So even the climb up is constant beautiful views. I have to admit, even though I know that this is bear country, I was not expecting to encounter bears. The 2 cubs I encountered, one on the way up and one on the way down, was a bit alarming, just because hiking hours and hours and hours without a living soul in sight, those 2 cubs startled me quite a bit. So be prepared, make sure you have your bear spray, and be bear aware, as they say. As a side note, the ferry had begun shortening their hours for the close of the season, and were only operating between 10 and 4. I did not want to wait at 10 a.m. to get to the ferry to cross Jenny Lake, so I took the trail and walked around Jenny Lake. That added about 7 miles back and forth to the hike, so that's actually even longer than the actual hike up to the crags itself. But when you are anxious to get an early start and spend as much time on the trail and at the lake, you will probably have to bypass the ferry and just hike it, especially during the tail end of the season when the hours are limited for the ferry. So if you're up for the challenge of this beautiful, beautiful hike, put it on your list. I'll put the links to the All Trails and relive maps that I tracked in the hike in the description. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And thanks for all the like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys out on the next trail.